And you can't be so set on that desire or that decision that you want to make. You can't be so set on it that you're just willing to overstep and overlook what that person thinks. You have to have enough grace to fall back a little bit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Allow them to move at their own pace and, and come, just enough patience to know that if it's meant to happen, it will.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then, delay doesn't mean denial.
True.
Yeah.
Welcome to Love Lately, the podcast where we dive into the real conversations about love, relationship, and all the joys and challenges that come along with finding love and keeping it after 50.
Okay, so look, whether you're looking for love, starting over, or navigating the ins and outs of long-term commitment, we're just here to share our journey and the insights we've discovered with you.
I'm Lee, and this is my husband, Ron, and we definitely don't have all the answers. Trust me, we do not have all the answers. But we have many questions, and we want to unpack them with you. We will talk about what love looks like in this stage of life and how we can make it work.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and join us for honest, heartfelt, faith-filled conversations that remind us all it is never too late for love.
Welcome to Love Lately. All right, welcome to another episode of Love Lately. I'm Lee Rogers.
Hello, I'm Ron Rogers.
And thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe. We need you to subscribe. And we also are always looking for topics, thoughts, opinions. So please send them in to us, comments.
Yes.
We want to know if there's other things you want us to talk about or anything. We're open for all kinds of comments and feedback. So make
suggestions
sure.
Also. We just want you to tune in, lock in with us, give us your thoughts. Some feedback is always appreciated.
Yep.
Yeah, we need it. We need that.
So today so first of all, tell us also if you like this new background that we're doing. So we're doing something a little bit more casual in our family room and just a little bit more authentic.
Yes.
But today we're also going to talk about another topic that we're just going to talk very openly and transparently about it. Not that we haven't in our other episodes, but talking about making big life-changing decisions.
Yes, life-changing. Well,
big changes.
Big changes. Major decisions that, that we understand those things that we try not to. We'll touch on it, but try not to do those things on our own, by ourselves, and always, with some consideration of everyone that's involved in those decisions.
And one of the reasons why this is an important topic, especially with our target audience that tend to be over 40, over 50, because a lot of us have already, been on our own, made a lot of decisions already on our own, have a lot of independence and strong opinions and thoughts. And what is that like when you come together with another person that you love, your spouse, your partner, and have to merge your convictions and your thoughts and your desires with someone else and making decisions together.
Yeah. Sometimes, like you said, babe, we've been on our own. We're used to making decisions, and the only person we had to consult with was ourselves.
Right.
And so sometimes when you get in those relationships, and especially if you're looking to have a serious relationship, something long-term, something meaningful, we understand that those decisions normally would affect the person that we're involved with, the person in our life. So we have to consider that person, consider their thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And just let it be a joint decision. Speaking of joint decisions.
So we're going to talk about a real life decision that we recently made that we were not initially completely on the same page with.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about some tips on getting on the same page when you have to make decisions. So
we want to introduce our decision. Ivy, come here, baby. Come here.
We got a puppy.
We have a puppy.
Not just a puppy. This is a baby German Shepherd. So that's an important point in this story, because I think I was all for a dog, but I wasn't completely sold on a big dog.
Yes. A German Shepherd, it's always been, I'm a dog person. I've had shepherds most of my life, and it's something that I kind of discussed early in our
very early
that I want a dog.
Yes.
And my wife wasn't on board with that decision initially, especially with the type of dog that I want.
Right.
She's had dogs, and they've been not
smaller dogs, yes. And yeah.
So making the decision to have a German Shepherd, she's a puppy, but she's going to be a big girl.
Yes.
And so that's something that was a little different.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
We're a couple weeks in.
Yes,
so
a couple weeks in.
But
and it's working out.
Yes. But let's talk about how we came to be, to at least get on the same page. So I was kind of nervous about having a big dog. But I could tell this was really important to Ron. He was passionate about it. He would light up about it when he talked about it. And of course, he doesn't really ask for much. So for him to ask for something, I knew it was really important to him. So, I knew that really, honestly, he wanted it a lot sooner than we probably got it.
Yeah.
But he waited until I got more comfortable with the decision, talked about all the pros and the cons. We searched for the dog together, found a breeder, found the dog, went through the whole process, and then we found one that we both fell in love with her as soon as we saw the picture.
Yeah, but I like the word that you used. You said the ask. And it wasn't like I asked like I needed permission, but in a sense, yes, because it's a decision that's going to affect both of our lives. And so when I initially floated it out there that, I want a dog and the type of dog that I wanted, she wasn't on board with it initially, but it was nothing that I was so adamant about that I was not gonna consider how she felt about it. I wanted to consider her thoughts about it, and I decided just to be patient, continue to, speak about my desire for a dog and the type of dog that I wanted. And I think that's important, that if we want to make those decisions about our desires and our wants, and our partner is not completely on board, that we do exercise some patience and allow them to kind of just...
The dog is chewing on something, if you all hear that.
Kind of just allow that person to gradually just kind of find their way into that whole thought process of the desire.
Right.
Nothing that we want to force, nothing because it's what I want, it's what I need, it's what I want to do, and I'm going to do it.
Right.
We do have to consider the other person's thoughts about it, their feelings about it, large or small decisions. I think it's important that you make those decisions together, and that it's an inclusive thing. And
right. And I'm glad you said that. I think one of the first points I would make about a couple making decisions together, especially if you think that you're not completely on board or on the same page, is number one, you have to value the opinion and the thoughts of your partner.
Exactly. I agree 1,000%.
So really hearing them out, seeing what it is that is important to them about this. If your spouse is going through a midlife crisis or something and wants to go out and buy a Corvette or a motorcycle, and you're not on board with it, before just shutting it all down because of your own thoughts, really think about what is it that is driving this need or this desire.
Yeah.
And so really valuing whatever your partner is going through or whatever your partner is asking for.
Yeah.
And I knew, like, if we were still using the dog example, like I said, he had been talking about it for a long time. I heard all the memories, great memories of his dog, his previous dog. I knew the breed of the dog was something that really aligned with his personality and things that were important to him. So I could understand where he was coming from. And I think he also understood what my reluctance was. A larger dog. I don't want a home where people are afraid to come to your home because they have a big dog. Taking care of the dog, it's busy schedule. So all of the things, I believe he really knew what my concerns were.
Yeah. But what I loved about it, though, is that knowing my desire, knowing what I wanted, and that it was something that you weren't used to. It wasn't your idea of the type of dog you wanted. But then every day, 2 or 3 times a day, she found herself searching German Shepherds,
yes,
TikTok videos, all types of, and all these cute, wonderful, amazing videos about the intelligence of the dog, the protectiveness of the dog, and all these cute home videos that people were putting online. And gradually, she just kind of got on board with it, you know. But the point is that you allow the person to move in that direction at their own pace. I think the biggest killer, the biggest joy killer, or the biggest relationship killer is a resentment.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make a decision about something that your partner or the person that you're interested in or the person that you spend all this time with, to make a decision, not considering that person's thoughts and feelings about it and moving forward with the decision anyway, and then creating that resentment.
Right.
Creating that resentment is always going to drive a wedge at some point or at some time in the relationship.
Yeah.
And resentment can be a killer.
Yeah.
No matter, you can look at that thing, that item, whatever that decision is about, and every time that other person looks at that item or that decision, they're going to feel how they felt the day you purchased it or bought it or made that choice to go ahead and move forward without really considering their thoughts and feelings about it. So we don't want to create resentments. We don't want to create those feelings of being isolated and left out of
decisions. Big decisions.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think also deciding what is considered a big decision in your life. Because I know we're going to do an episode on this, and probably the next episode is going to be around finances and money. And, one of the points that we'll make is deciding what is a big purchase in your marriage and how to consult each other on big purchases. But I think the same is true with big decisions. If I'm, going on an international trip,
gone for a week,
is that a big decision that we need to consult on? If the kids are going to come home for the summer and stay for 3 months, is that a big decision? If your family is coming to stay for a week during the holidays, just figuring out what is considered big decisions. And I think that's helpful as well. One of the other second points I wanted to make around making decisions that we wanted to unpack is also understanding and getting in the mind frame of nothing is necessarily right or wrong. And sometimes we go into conversations or decisions with there's a right or a wrong way, a right or a wrong answer, but it's just a matter of perspective, choice, desires, and getting out of that mind frame of what he wants is wrong or what she wants is wrong or I'm right. This is how it should be done instead of just like it's a preference. It's,
Yeah, and I think we discussed that in earlier episodes, how important it is going into a new relationship or moving forward in a relationship that you want to develop into something long-term, to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Continue to be open-minded about everything. We can't be closed-minded and have our ways set and not willing to listen, not willing to see a different perspective, not willing to see the other person's thoughts about it and to consider those things. It is important to be open-minded, and just being able to listen and that's what it's about. And it's not even, we're married, but not everyone watching is married.
Right.
And people are in relationships, and you could be in a relationship with someone who you're looking to develop this thing long term and to move in that direction. So these are just suggestions and things that work for us. And regardless of the phase of the relationship, whether it's marriage or whether it's long-term or whether it's something you're developing, you want it to be long-term, it's important to still be considerate of that person's perspective and their thought process and how they see things, and be open-minded enough to have a conversation, do a lot of listening, and then be patient enough to allow them to move in a different direction at their own pace.
Right. Yeah. Also, the final point is also being really curious about the first point we talked about being curious about the other person and what they want and hearing them out. But the final point is being curious about with yourself. And if there's something that you're really, pushing against or really don't want and can't get over, get curious and dig deeper about what it is that is holding you up. Is it triggering something? Is it something maybe from a previous marriage or relationship where you think it's going to be the same thing? I've heard people talk about not wanting to have another baby because the first child they had with a previous partner, they felt alone or didn't have help, and so they don't want to do it again. You're making a bunch of assumptions, but really dig deep on what it is that is driving some of your decisions.
Yes. I love our decision. I love our decision, and it's work, but yeah, great point, babe, that we should also consider others' way of thinking. Yeah,
and understand yourself and what you. Because if I would have just kept saying no to the dog, I would have had to do my own work in understanding why, but you would have had to also, why do I want this dog so much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have my reasons. A shepherd is a shepherd, and it's a majestic, beautiful dog, and of course, I am.
Yeah, there are reasons why we don't need a dog as well.
Yes, there are reasons why we're both very busy, and and we're away from the home most of the day, and training her and getting her acclimated and used to the home and not doing her business. It's work. It's work. Yeah. And I understand, and I appreciate your effort and the work that you've put into adjust and get used to our baby.
Yes, she likes to nibble.
Yeah.
So this we just wanted to again just come and talk a little bit about making big decisions. We made a big decision, and getting on board with that, being patient with each other through the process. So Ron definitely did that as I got on board. And it was gradual. I think like I mentioned, we talked about this early in our marriage and in our relationship, and of course, I was ready to go immediately and to the breeder and find us a dog, and I just kind of had to put things on pause and allow my wife to, just get there on our own at our own pace and at our own speed, and I said, the more videos I got, I said, yes, I got her. Yes. But anyway, so thank you. I think that's about it. You got any more pieces of wisdom?
No, just that, like I said, how important it is to continue to be open-minded, continue to consider that person's thoughts and feelings about it. Patience is definitely a big key.
Yeah.
To be patient and allow a person to move at their own pace. Continue to be open. Continue to discuss it. Continue to allow them to, see your perspective, understand their perspective, be okay with their perspective.
Right.
And just be patient and allow those things to kind of just develop the way they're supposed to. We don't want to create any resentments. Resentment is a killer. Resentment is a killer. It's a joy killer. It can be a killer of relationships, and we don't want to create that feeling of resentment. And
so we're going to start to wrap this up. Oh my gosh, I see this happening. Anyway,
thank you.
We are dog moms and dog dads now.
Dad, yes, and mom.
So
yes.
Anticipating what's about to happen. But I love that resentment is a killer point. So keep that in mind as we're making decisions,
Yes.
as we're considering each other, holding each other with the highest honor, out of respect.
Yes.
I think, and I need to do better with this, but I think a rule of thumb is to overshare in relationships. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever decisions that you're going through your mind, nothing is too small. So just like share with each other. So you guys are always in the loop.
And you can't be so set on that desire or that decision that you want to make. You can't be so set on it that you're just willing to overstep and overlook what that person thinks. You have to have enough grace to fall back a little bit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do without, allow them to move at their own pace, and and come to that conclusion if it happens. And at the pace it's going to happen. It may not happen exactly when you want to, but just enough patience to know that if it's meant to happen, it will.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then delay doesn't mean denial.
True.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone else.
Yes, please.
And again,
support us.
Comment. Let us know how we're doing and if there are any topics you want us to discuss. All right. You all have a great one.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Love Lately. We hope today's conversation sparked some thoughts and maybe even some inspiration for your own love story.
Remember, love does not have an expiration date. It should always be evolving and growing, and so are we together.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who might need a little encouragement in their love journey.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, just drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, keep finding, building, and enjoying love lately.